Welcome back to Life and Living. It's a heartbreaking truth, but cancer is the #1 cause of death for our children. Andrea Verdone Gorsegner is here to talk about the incredible work she's doing as the founder of Infinite Love for Kids Fighting Cancer. Welcome to the program,
Thanks
Andrea.
for having me so much.
It's a pleasure to have you. First, just kind of set the stage for us. How did you start this incredible organization? You have a powerful personal story to tell.
Yeah, I think most people, when they start things like this, it starts with a story. And for us, my daughter Natalie, just before her 3rd birthday, on August 16, 2012, was diagnosed with high-risk acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And all of her symptoms had started less than a week prior. And they were things that a lot of kids get. It was a low-grade fever, and it was moodiness and little bloody noses, and then things started to kind of progress from there.
Like what? Because symptoms and understanding the signs and symptoms is important for parents watching.
I think for the main part with leukemias particularly, because there are so many different types of childhood cancer and they don't all have the same symptoms.
Sure.
But for leukemia, it was, we didn't notice her skin was very pale at the time. You see your child every day, so that was part of it. Now, I feel like I'm, partial oncologist. Now I can see like if a tone of skin is a little bit off. But it was really what was visible as parents is there was bruising out of nowhere. You figure it was just before she turned 3, so that's kind of natural for a kid that age to have bruises on their legs. But then we started noticing bruises popping up in odder spots, like higher up on her legs. Or the day she was diagnosed, actually, when we called the pediatrician back, we had seen a bruise right in her hairline. And there was just no way she could have hit her head in the middle of the night because she was with us, actually.
Describe that moment when you find out your daughter is diagnosed with cancer.
I've told this story a million times, and it's like, it still takes your breath away, just hearing those words about your child. I remember knowing that something was wrong, because when we had gone to the pediatrician and the look on her face when she told us that we need to go to the emergency room, she had drawn blood there and it wasn't reading properly on her machines, and you could tell she didn't want to tell us, or me I should say, what she thought it could be. She didn't want to scare me. It was just myself and Natalie in the office at the time, and she sent us to the ER. They did additional blood work, and I can remember sitting in that dark room just waiting for results and thinking something was wrong, but I mean, my head didn't even begin to go to cancer. And at that time, she was sleeping on my chest, and I'd felt wetness on my arm, and I remember thinking, oh, she's drooling, let me move her over and clean myself up. And when I went to move her head, her whole eye was bleeding, her nose was bleeding, and she was just completely out. And at that point, the team had walked in, and before I could even ask them about this, that's when they told me that she had cancer. And honestly, after hearing those words, I don't remember what they said to me. I really don't. In that moment, I don't recall a thing. I can remember faces, and I can remember the looks on their faces and everybody filing out one by one. But I just heard that, and that was it. Yeah.
I can't imagine that going through that process with her was anything less than grueling. What did you see as you watched Natalie get treatment, some of the disparities that exist in terms of cancer treatment for kids?
Yeah, when your child is first diagnosed with something like cancer, you think, okay, it can't be worse than that. She has cancer. But and you're in the thick of it every day, and you're just trying to survive every day, and you go through that grueling process in the beginning where it's like, well, what did we do? Where did we go? What did she eat? And when you can finally let those things go.
In other words, blaming yourself.
Of course, yeah, you instantly, and we were a healthy family, and we hadn't gone anywhere, and believe it or not, strangers will even ask you that, which boggles my mind to this day. But you're constantly thinking these things and wondering, like, how did this happen? But then
when you let go of that.
Yeah, once you can let go of that, and you start, seeing things around you and hearing things. I remember being on Facebook, and I came across the Truth 365, and they have a documentary, and I started watching it one night and crying in my bed. And as I'm watching this documentary, that is when I am seeing all of these truths, that childhood cancer is the #1 disease killer of our kids, that it's not just leukemias and brain cancer. There are over a dozen different types of childhood cancer. And the more I was hearing in this documentary and learning, I went from, the sadness phase to this anger, like, how is this possible? How is this the #1 disease killer of our kids? And I didn't know this before my daughter was diagnosed.
And what do you know now about the amount of progression that we've seen in terms of treating adult cancers versus where we are with treating or even researching childhood cancers?
Yep, see, that's the problem. A lot of people just assume, oh, cancer research has come such a long way, which it has. So of course it must be helping the kids as well. They see a lot of smiley bald kids through, TV infomercials.
St. Jude's and things like
exactly.
that. Right.
All doing great things. But at the end of the day, in the past 25 years, there have only been 3 new drugs developed for our kids. For any
25 years.
25 years.
For any type of cancer.
Any
and you said there are 17?
There are over a dozen, about 16 different types of childhood cancer. And what a lot of people don't realize is from the National Cancer Institute, our kids get 4% of the research budget. Now that 4% is for all of the childhood cancers. So they just get umbrellaed. It's like, here you go. And now all of those different types of childhood cancers, they now have to divide that 4% amongst them all for research. And they're different. Wilms tumor is not the same as neuroblastoma, is not the same as leukemia, is not the same as brain cancer.
So why did you start Infinite Love for Kids Fighting Cancer, which I know originally had a different name?
Yeah, it started as a Facebook page, Infinite Love for Natalie Grace, and it was how I kept my family and friends and eventually thousands of strangers just up to date on what was going on with her. And I saw an opportunity at the same time to educate people, to not just make it about Natalie, but say, hey, listen, this is what's going on in the childhood cancer community.
And to raise money in the process?
And to raise money in the process, yeah.
How much money have you raised to date?
Over $600,000 for research to date, since that was spring of 2013.
How are you ensuring that those dollars actually go to the childhood cancer research?
Well, we work with this amazing foundation, the Rally Foundation, and this whole system called Proposal Central. And it's amazing because the researchers and doctors actually have to apply for the money. And then those applications get graded by this amazing board of oncologists. And how it works is basically the lowest scores are who gets the money. So every year for Infinite Love, we choose a different type of childhood cancer to focus on because there is a lot of research for leukemia, not that they're where they need to be, but then you have cancers like DIPG, and there's a 0% survival rate. So It's important to me, it's important to our board that each year we focus on a different type so we can also raise awareness for that type of cancer. And funding for it as well.
Can we take a look at a video called Fighter?
Yes, yes.
Take a look. Amazing video.
Yeah,
There's a
it's
little
great.
girl in that video named Mia.
Yes.
Give you a second to talk about her, but you use this video as a chance to raise money, as an opportunity to raise money. Can you explain that a little bit?
Well, the song Fighter was written by Taylor Tote and my 2 daughters, Hannah and Natalie. And with the song, we had it professionally recorded and mastered. It's on iTunes, and every download, 100% goes to Infinite Love for research. But then we decided to do the video as a means of raising awareness, because we thought, well, while it might not raise, a ton of money unless someone like Taylor Swift or, is sharing the link, this video can just kind of live on and just keep raising awareness.
And speaking of living on, talk about Mia, who we saw in the video in the blue dress.
Yes, so Mia was the star fighter, very, very special girl, near and dear to my heart. She actually wasn't supposed to be the star fighter. I had a little girl who was a little older than her, thinking it would be easier for filming. She got a fever at the last second. So Mia filled in, and I was nervous because she was a brand new 6 years old at that time, and we had 2 grueling days of filming. She was undergoing chemo, radiation. It would be hard for any kid, let alone a kid going through everything. And this little Spitfire, she was incredible. She blew us all away. I mean, you would have thought she was this professional little actress. I mean, working with people she had never met. She was amazing. She saved the video, you know, and we say we truly feel it's her legacy, you know, because we're going to keep it there.
Mia did pass this year.
She passed away on March 17th, unfortunately, yep, before she even had a chance to see 7.
In that video where you have given me a chance to live on and help raise awareness and touch people, and I know that video, if you just watched it and have any kind of heart, that just touched you, it touched me. But we see people shaving their heads. I see you have short hair. Talk about what you and your daughter just did recently, shaving your heads. Yeah, so a couple of the firefighters that you saw in that video, they came to me with the idea of having a fundraiser, having a shave event as a means of raising money and honoring Mia. And we did it. We did it at the end of July, Shave a Hero, Save a Hero. And that event raised, I think it was over $45,000. And I shaved my head. My hair was down to my waist. It's been there my whole life. And my oldest daughter, Hannah, she shaved her head 4 years in a row. And then we had, oh gosh, firefighters from all over the state who shaved, children who shaved, school principals who came to shave. It was amazing. It was a beautiful day. Where can people learn more about this organization?
Yeah, they can go to our website, infiniteloveforkidsfightingcancer.org, and they can see all the other things that we're working on. We focus mainly on research, but we help families. We have other programs as well that help kids with their treatment.
And Natalie is no longer fighting cancer. She has a clean bill of health today.
Yeah, so November 26th, we're going to celebrate her 3-year anniversary of being cancer-free. So we have a lot to be grateful for, but we have to keep fighting for all the families who are in it now and the ones who are going to be diagnosed tomorrow, and in memory, of course, of our angels.
Andrea Verdone Gorsegner, I can't thank you enough.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Life and Living has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of Life and Living with Joanna Gagis has been provided by Summit Medical Group, Delta Dental of New Jersey, New Jersey Sharing Network, New Jersey State Nurses Association, and the Institute for Nursing, Community Food Bank of New Jersey, the New Jersey Reentry Corporation, and by the Terrell Fund. Additional support provided by Melandre Salon and Sulis Spa. Look beautiful, feel beautiful. Life and Living with Joanna Gagis has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios.